Hello, welcome back to Practical English, everyone. It's Professor Gray here, and it's time for us to begin week number 10. Are you ready? Well, first of all, last week, of course, we had our midterm exam. The scores were generally very good. I was pleased to see that. The midterm exam was shorter than normal because, of course, it was online, not face-to-face. Our final exam will be face-to-face. The university has assured me of that. I'll give you the schedule soon, and I'll also give you more information about the final exam later, though. That's a few weeks later. Final exam will be during the final week, week 15. Okay, I'm quickly going to go over the midterm. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I want to give you the answers. A couple of you asked what answers you got wrong. You can check now. If you don't know why your answer is wrong or you have any other question about the midterm, then send me an email and please ask me. But in general, it was quite well done, so congratulations to everyone. Passage 1, autism. If you're looking at your midterm now, you can look at your midterm, your answers, the test that I sent you. You can have it all prepared and review it now. While I go over it. I'm not going to go over the passages. I'll just tell you what the answers are and where. We've read autism already. Primary means main, B. Onset, D. Beginning. 3, makes itself known, appears, manifests itself, or begins, B. Number 4 is A, concurrent symptoms. A syndrome means it's plural. Not single, but plural, but a syndrome, many. Number 5, etiologies, C, the causes, and number 6, with respect to, B, in regard to. In regard to. Second one, World War II. The Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in order to, what was the reason? Well, they wanted to, B, cause serious damage to the American Pacific Fleet. The purpose was to cause serious damage to the American Pacific Fleet in Hawaii. Number 1 is B. Number 2, how long had Britain been fighting the Germans before the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor? For more than 2 years. More than 2 years, a quarter of a decade. A decade is 10 years, so a quarter of that would be 2.5. More than 2 years. Okay, over 2 years, close to a quarter of a decade. Number 2 is B. Number 3, D, fleet is warships. This might have been a bit confusing. It doesn't mean the base, it means the ship, the ships. The fleet is a group of ships, quite often used for Navy, naval fleet, naval ships. The group or the team of ships. Number 3, D. Now the key here again is in the sentence. Most of America's Pacific Fleet. You can't say most of the base. No, base is one place. Most of means most of a group. So almost all of the ships, almost all of the warships were stationed in Pearl Harbor. Number 4, B. When America got involved in the conflict, it had already been happening for over 2 years. World War II had been happening for more than 2 years before America became directly involved when America got involved. Number 4, B. Last one, birth order. Again, I'm just going to go over the questions and answers. If you have questions about it, please ask me. Body here means the amount, a body of research, an amount of research. B, number 1 is B. Number 2, A. Adler was one of the first to study. He was a pioneer. Pioneer means one of the first. Number 2, A. Number 3, also A. They announce what ideas will be presented in the following paragraphs. They're telling you, basically outlining the main points. It's a bridge. What's coming up, the firstborn, the secondborn, and then the last or the only child. So this is the bridge connecting you to the main body, and it's telling you what's coming up and in what order. A. Number 4, traits, characteristics, C. That one I think should have been pretty easy. Number 5, several examples support the idea that firstborns have characteristics that make them leaders. Responsible, leader. Assertive, leader. Positions of leadership, leader. And then examples, Congress, president, blah, blah, blah. Firstborns, several examples why they are leaders. Number 6, to be accepting of something means you're tolerant of it. Tolerant, A. Number 7, here the key again, thus. Thus, as I've told you in the lectures, thus means kind of summarizing or restating. It comes at the end. It's like therefore, okay, a final summary of what's been stated, a kind of a restatement summary, and that, of course, therefore is D. Number 8, what is not true, C, they don't prefer games with fierce competition. They don't like a lot of competition. 8C. Number 9, B, more achievement oriented. Here again, synonyms: achievement, accomplishment. More achievement oriented, focusing on, oriented, focusing, directed on accomplishments, achievements. And number 10 is D. Few close friendships and only child. D. Okay, those are the answers to the midterm test questions. Again, I don't want to take time going over the readings in detail, but if you have questions about the readings or the questions or the answers or anything at all, now is the time to send an email and ask me, now that you know all the right answers. Good work, everyone. You noticed the midterm did, one passage was a passage we had studied, and the others were new, but they shared some characteristics, and hopefully what we've learned in the class has helped you with that. So again, the final exam will be in class during week 15. In the coming weeks, I will give you more information about the final test. But for now, let's focus on study. Let's get through the textbook and let's continue on. It seems that you're doing very well. I'm very pleased with the progress, judging by the test results and from the questions and comments and emails in the emails that you're sending me. Keep up the good work, everyone. We're turning the corner now and we're heading home towards the end of the semester. Okay, last week we began studying exercise 6 or skill 6, negative facts, not N-O-T, or except in capital letters. When you see those, remember, stop, pause, think. Okay, you need to change how your mind thinks. Don't look for the right answer, look for the wrong answer. Right is wrong, wrong is right. Wrigley's Chewing Gum, page 61. This was the original chewing gum in the US. It's still the most popular chewing gum in the US. And it's over 100 years old now. Number 11, William was working in it was not true that he was working in his father's factory. As a teenager, young William, teenager, was working for his father, in Chicago, selling soap that had been manufactured in the factory. So he was in Chicago working for his father, selling soap, A, B, and C, but not D. Not working in the factory, but selling soap outside of the factory, D. Premium, by the way, means a free gift. You know, here in Korea, it's very common. You go to a supermarket and you buy something, and when you buy something, you get a free gift. Sometimes, it might be a big box of laundry soap, and then they've taped a small bar of soap or dish soap or anything, toothpaste. They've taped it to the box, meaning this is free if you buy the box of laundry soap. That's a premium, a gift, a free gift, a giveaway. Number 12, it was not originally well liked because the profit margin wasn't enough. Margin means space. The space on the side of paper, that's called a margin, the space. So Profit margin means the space of margin, how much money you're making when you sell something. A was not originally well liked, therefore A is wrong, so A is right. Number 13, he was not selling chewing gum. He was selling soap, and he was giving away cookbooks and baking soda, both premium, both gifts, free gifts when you bought the soap. Number 13, it is not mentioned that he later, he sold baking soda, yes. He used chewing gum as a premium. He gave away free chewing gum to sell baking soda, and he sold chewing gum later, but he didn't use baking soda as a premium to sell chewing gum. Now, there's a good hint here, a good, maybe not hint, there's a good strategy to look for here. Number 14, it's a negative fact, not, which means right is wrong and wrong is right. But look at B and look at D. B used chewing gum as a premium to sell baking soda. D used baking soda as a premium to sell chewing gum. They're opposite. Probably, since they are exact opposite, they cannot both be right. One of them must be wrong, one of them must be right. When you see answers like that are complete opposite, quite often one of them is the right answer. And the other one is there to confuse you. Here the right answer is D. It's very confusing because it's negative question and opposites. It's easy to make a mistake if you're not careful. If you're careful, if you pause and focus and think about the question and the answers, it's actually not difficult. But if you rush, if you don't think, if you answer too quickly, it's very easy to make a mistake here. And number 15, C, he phased out. Phase out is when you gradually get rid of the last two brands. So the latter two brands grew in popularity. The latter two means the last two mentioned. Okay, Vassar, Lotta Gum, 1, 2, Juicy Fruit, Spearmint, 3, 4. The latter two, number 3 and 4, the last two, Juicy Fruit and Spearmint, grew in popularity. They're still popular, very popular today in the US. And the first two were phased out. Vassar and Lotta Gum were phased out. Gradually, they got rid of them step by step. And as I mentioned, the last two, the latter, are still main brands to this day, up to now, right? Up to this day. Number 15 is C. Next, dissociative identity disorder. Dissociative identity disorder is basically split personality. Some people have multiple personalities. Now, this doesn't mean mood changes. You know, everybody has happy days and sad days and good mood and bad mood. That's normal. That's everyone. But some people actually have different personalities. So in one mind, one head, one brain, one mind, one heart, you have different people existing. This is not common, but it has happened. It's a psychological condition in which a person's identity dissociates, fragments, separates. Dis, not, associate together. Not together, separate. It separates, it fragments into many different personalities. A fragment is a piece of something that has been broken. You know, if you drop a glass on the floor, it shatters and it fragments into different pieces, many different pieces. But clean it up, it's very dangerous. Broken glass on the floor, bad thing. Okay, paragraph 1, it is not stated. D. Now, the answer to 16 is D. Here the key really is answer based on what you read. Answer based on what is in the passage, not what you think or even what might make sense. D looks like, yeah, that's possible. And it is possible, and it could be right. But it doesn't mention that in the passage. That's what the answers are based on, what is in the passage. 16 is D. Same thing with 17, A. Sure, yeah, they might dress differently depending on their personality of the day, who they are. Yeah, that 17A is possible, but it doesn't mention that. Okay, you answer not based on what you think, but what is in the passage. 16D, 17A. 18B, yeah, Eve didn't star in the movie. Joanne Woodward starred in the movie. It's about Eve, but it's not. She's not the actress. Number 19, not in 1950. D. Okay, the movie, The Three Faces of Eve, was made in the 1950s, which means not in 1950, during the decade. Okay, A is true, B is true, C is true. D, no, not in 1950, in the 1950s. And then number 20, 2 decades later, in the 1970s, C is correct. In the 1970s means 2 decades after the 1950s. Number 20 is D. She was not familiar with all 22 personalities. Only 3 could exist at one time. So three would know each other at once. Wow, this is so confusing. I can't imagine this sort of situation, but it does happen. It's very rare, but it does happen and can happen. Number 21, the second example, a woman named Sybil. C, she didn't develop her personalities over 16 years. She had 16 different personalities. Okay, 16 different personalities, but they developed over a period of 40 years. They emerged, they came out, they developed over 40 years. 21 is C. And 22, A. Didn't take 40 years to write the book. Her personalities emerged. Her personalities came out, developed over 40 years, but the book did not take 40 years to write. 22 is A. A little bit disturbing, this passage, but it's true and it's real and it's interesting to learn about. Okay, moving on. John Muir. This was the long passage I asked you to time yourself. Almost everybody had really, really good timing for this. A lot of you finished in well under 20 minutes. I'm very impressed with that. It's a long passage. There's some new vocabulary. It's a bit complicated. Good work. If you took a little more than 20 minutes, don't feel bad. This was a long, difficult passage. You're still doing fine. Okay? Our course is all about learning, experiencing the TOEFL, and you do that through practice. As long as you're practicing, doing your best, trying hard, you are learning, you are improving. You're improving your TOEFL, your knowledge of the test, and of course, you're improving your English too. Keep it up. Okay, number 1, C. He was born in 1838. 1838 is the first half of the 19th century. From 1801 to 1850, first half, 1851 to 1900, second half. Number 1 is C. Number 2, also C. Here we have synonyms, right? C, his efforts, his work to maintain natural areas. Natural areas means nature. Another word for nature is the wilderness. Not wilderness. It's spelled W-I-L-D, the wild area, but it's pronounced will. Okay, like I will study. I will get an A. Wilderness. The wilderness is the natural or wild areas. So he protected, he conserved his contribution, his work, his effort to maintain natural areas. Number 3, his early education was done at home, homeschool. Homeschooling means you study at home. Your parents teach you at home. So conducted at home, done at home. To conduct means to lead or to do something. So his parents they conducted his education. They led him. They were his teachers at home. Number 4, it is not mentioned that again, maybe his father taught him. It's quite possible. But there's nothing, it doesn't say anything about that. A, he whittled with wood. C, he whittled mechanical devices. And D, he was admitted to the university because they were impressed with his whittling. Therefore, only B is possible. Whittle is a very special word. It's when you're cutting wood, for art, to make something. People who, usually with a knife, cutting wood to make a beautiful piece of art or sculpture, or in this case, a small machine. Anytime you cut wood to make something, that's called whittling. Again, it's a very special word. We don't use it except for this situation. Number 5, B. Unhealable. Suffered an unhealable means did not heal. Heal means you become healthy again. H-E-A-L, heal. H-E-A-L, health, healthy. But unhealable means you don't become healthy, but he did. He recovered from the eye injury. He recovered means he healed. So it was not an unhealable injury. B is wrong, so B is right. Number 6, D, okay, a travel writer. What did he do? He worked as laborer, okay, working, basic manual labor, working with your hands. A sheep herder. Sheep herder, taking care of sheep or tending sheep. An animal tender, 6B, means somebody taking care of animals. To tend means to take care of or to keep, like goaltender takes care of the goal in soccer and hockey, also called a goalkeeper. Keep means also the same as tend, take care of. Bartender, zookeeper, and so on. And a wilderness guide, yes. A-S, B-S, C-S, D, no. Number 6D. Number 7, in the years after 1880, what happened after 1880? He married in 1880, and in the years that followed, the years after 1880, followed after, he was more involved in family life and running the ranch. Therefore, number 7 is B, devoted a lot of time to his family. More involved with his family life, devoting time to his family. Okay, ranch, by the way, is like a farm, but a place where you have animals. A farm focuses more on growing plants, growing crops, and a ranch is more about animals, horses and cows and pigs and so on. But similar. Of course, the two, there can be a mix sometimes, and the two are quite similar. They're dealing with working on land. Number 8, paragraph 4. Well, he had been, yes, he was away from the environmentalist movement for many years. Yes. B, yes, he was contacted by an editor for the Century. And D, he wrote 2 articles for the Century. Yes. A, yes, B, yes, D, yes, C, no. No, he wasn't the editor. The editor contacted him. C is wrong, so C is right. Number 9, the editor, D, helped convince Muir to write the articles. The editor said, hey, I want to take you camping. I want you to see what's happening to this beautiful area, Yosemite, and I want you to write some articles to help save this beautiful, beautiful area. Number 9, D. By the way, the pronunciation, again, it's strange. Yosemite. Yosemite. Yosemite, it's a native Indian word. Number 10, the Enabling Act A allowed the president to set aside lands to conserve them. Look now in paragraph 5, the Enabling Act. Okay, you find it in line 3. This was a bill. Okay, a bill means a law, what becomes a law, that gave U.S. presidents the right. To give them the right means to allow them, permit them, allow them. Allow the president to reserve lands. Reserve means to preserve or save, like reservation. You save a table, you save a room, you reserve a room, or set aside a room. This table is set aside, it's saved for you because you have a reservation. A. Number 11, it's not true, of course, D. Okay, A, yes, B, yes, C, yes, all true, but D is impossible. D has to be wrong, so D has to be right. Okay, to move Yosemite to the Sierra Nevada. Okay, Yosemite is a big, huge national park with mountains and trees and lakes. You can't move it. You can't move a national park, right? It has to stay where it is. So D is impossible, so D is right, because it's a negative question. Number 12, the last decades of his life, Muir D, devoted himself. Notice paragraph 6, from then until his death, means the last decades, the last years, the last decades of his life. D, he wanted to increase public awareness of the environment. Okay, build recognition. Okay, build recognition means people recognize, they understand, they're aware. People, public awareness, building recognition of the increased public awareness, building recognition of the environment. 12 is D. And number 13 is B. Here it's grammar. B says numerous parks, rivers, seashores, and preserves are being developed. No. In paragraph 7, they say they already have been developed. Are being developed means happening now, not finished, but they have been developed means they already finished. So B is wrong because of the grammar. They have already been developed. Number 13 is B. Okay, once again, good work on that. That was a tough one. Moving on. Again, any questions, please email me and ask me. Next is caretaker speech. This was not homework. Caretaker speech, I want you to do now. I want you to do it like a test. Pretend it's a test. It's a very good review of all 6 skills. Units 1 through 6 in the book. You'll see questions of all 6 skill types. 13 questions total, page 68 and page 69, 13 questions. So I want you to read page 67, caretaker speech, answer the 13 questions on page 68 and 69, and then stop. Try to finish in 20 minutes, okay? 13 questions, 1 passage, 20 minutes. Time yourself. You don't have to tell me your time in your email, but I want you to time yourself and make it your clear goal to finish this in 20 minutes. Okay, go ahead. When you're done, come back. Okay, pause now, do the work, come back, and we'll review it together. All right, good luck, everyone. Okay, here we go, page 68. Number 1, children over the age of 3 influenced more, by their peers. P-E-E-R-S. Peers means people your same age. Peer means sort of an equal. Okay, a doctor, your peers. A professor, peers. Okay, people the same age, same level. C, number 1 is C. Number 2, to model is to copy, follow, or B, mimic. Modeling means mimicking, copying. Okay, modeling the speech, that's what every child does. They listen to their family and they copy it. They mimic it, they follow it. But then after the age of 3, they follow, they copy, they mimic their friends, peers, as much or more. Number 3, caretaker speech is used often quite unconsciously without thinking. Few people actually study how to modify a language when speaking to young children, but instead without thinking, unconsciously, without thinking, notice the synonym. Find ways to lessen, reduce the complexity, make it less complex, less difficult, or easier, in order to communicate effectively with young children. Number 3 is D. People generally seem to be able to adjust, adapt, change their language to the level of a child's without thinking consciously about it. Okay, reduce the complexity, make it simpler, the level of a child. The level of a child means less complex, simpler. Number 3 is D, exact restatement. Number 4, the word it refers to a caretaker speech. Number 5, examples of these are expressions, number 4 is A. Number 5, examples of these are expressions such as say bye-bye or where's dada. Okay, say bye-bye is a simplified sentence. It means say goodbye. That's a sentence. Where's dada? Where's daddy? Where is your father? Where's father? Where's daddy? Where's dada? These are simplified English sentences. Number 5 is D. But also includes the simplified expressions, but also includes the simplified sentence structures repeated in sing-song inflections. Inflection is when your voice goes up and down and up and down. Number 5, D. These are simplified sentence structured. Examples of these refers to simplified sentence structures. D. Number 6, B. They talk about overemphasized, exaggerated, means overemphasized inflections. They talk about repetition, repeating oneself, and they talk about the use of simplified words or structures, simplified words and sentences. AS, CS, DS, B, no. They don't talk about rhyming sounds. That might be true, but it doesn't mention that in paragraph 3. Again, number 6 is B. An inflection that's overemphasized is very common when you talk to a child, right? If you might say, do you like it? Right? It's like, I wouldn't say to a friend or an adult, do you like it? But I inflect, I go way up, do you like it? It's probably similar in Korean, right? 좋아요? Okay, when you're talking to a child, you go way up, 좋아요? Is it good? Okay, that's normal when talking to a child, but that's an exaggerated inflection that you wouldn't use to an adult. Number 7, again, D, they modify it, they change, they alter the speech to the level of the child. Okay, near the bottom of paragraph 3, parents and children and older children regularly adjust their speech, modify their speech to the level that is slightly above that of a younger child, okay, to the level of the child as the child develops. So as the child gets older, their language gets higher, and the adults adjust and make it a little bit higher, kind of like +1, right? Older people, when they talk to a child, it's the child's level +1, kind of like pushing the child up to a higher level slowly and consistently. Number 8, to reach an age is to get there or arrive at. Arrive at an age, get to an age, reach an age. Number 9, that refers to the function, B. Number 9 is B. An important point to note is that the function covered by caretaker speech, that of assisting, that of the function of assisting. Look above, 3 lines up. Parents and older children regularly adjust their speech to a level that is slightly above that of, the level of. That of refers to the level of. Paragraph 4, that of assisting, the function of. Okay, that of refers back to the word that precedes it. Either here it's function, in paragraph 3 it was the level. Number 10 is A. All right, people who believe in nature over nurture, natural, who are around younger children will naturally make changes in their language. Right. So if you're around a baby or a young child, you naturally, you do it subconsciously without thinking. All right, that's nature over nurture. We've talked about this before, remember? With aggression, is it natural or do we learn it? Is it nurtured? Natural, learned. Nature, nurture. Number 11, someone who believes in nurture over nature. Okay, So they believe you learn it. So it's all about learning. A, would believe that caretaker speech is more of a learned style, nurture. Yes, true, so wrong. B, would use different styles of caretaker speech with children in response to what is working best. Learning. Finding out what works best, learn, change. Yes, so no. True, therefore no. C, would learn to use nurture. True, yes, wrong. A, wrong. B, wrong. C, wrong. D is right. Would use less caretaker speech than those who believe. No, it doesn't say that. It might be true, we don't know, but it doesn't say that. A, yes, B, yes, C, yes, D, no. D is the right answer. Number 12 is A, to try out is to experiment, and number 13, B. Okay? If you look at 13A, at the end it says, is quite universal all over the world, is very universal. Therefore, it is not merely, not just used by English-speaking parents. Not only English, but universal. All languages, all cultures use caretaker speech. Okay, how did you do? 13 questions. I hope you did well. I hope you finished in 20 minutes or less. Anyway, good work, good effort. Any questions, any problems, please ask me in your email, please. Time to move on. Today we're doing a lot of reading. We're focusing more on reading than listening, so you'll have a lot of reading to do. Here we're doing a lot, and some homework, of course, a little bit of homework, and then just a little bit of listening today. Number 7, reading skill 7, page 70, making inferences from stated facts. An inference is something you must understand that's not stated directly. Okay, not stated directly. That means the writer implies it. Now, don't be confused here. Infer and imply. The question will use the word infer or imply. It's really the same question. The writer implies, or the speaker implies. Imply means go out. Infer means come in. I'm speaking, I imply, you listen, you infer. The writer implies, you infer. You must see it. You must understand it, or you must read between the lines. Look at my example. John passed his driving test. John passed the driving test. Okay, well, he took a test and he passed it. John finally passed his driving test. Now you see the writer is implying, not stating directly, implying that John took the test many times and failed it. Test fail, test fail, test fail, test pass. Finally, he passed the test. John finally passed the test. It doesn't say he took it many times and failed. It implies that. You, the reader, must infer that. You must understand that in order to understand the sentence completely. That's why inferences are important. Inferences, again, means reading between the lines. Look at number 1, ancient coins. Okay, go ahead and try number 1 and number 2. Try them and then come back and I'll review them. Go ahead. Long before coins were invented, metals such as gold, silver, copper, and bronze were used as a medium of exchange. Medium of exchange means like money. Medium means middle. When you buy something, you are exchanging. There's me, and I'm buying from a shop. What's in between us? What's in the middle? Money. These days we use money in the middle when we buy things. Okay, when was it used? Well, before, gold was used long before coins were invented. Coins were invented in the 7th century BC, 700 BC. So gold was used before 700 BC. It doesn't say that, it implies it. Right? It doesn't say exactly that, but you must understand that. You must infer that fact from reading paragraph 1, A. Number 2, one such coin minted. To mint is to make money. right? The factory where money is made is called a mint, noun. And the verb to make it is to mint it. The government mints money. The government makes money in every country. King Croesus ruled from 560 BC to 546 BC. Remember, you go down. BC, you count down, not up. It's the opposite. You go up, down to 0. Recovered by archaeologists, this coin is imprinted with the heads and forelegs of 2 animals. Forelegs, front legs, hind legs, back, behind. Right? Animals like dogs, cats, and horses have forelegs and hind legs, before and behind, front and back. Bull and a lion facing each other. It was not until 525 BC. 525 BC is after 546 BC, therefore after King Croesus. So during King Croesus, A, imprinted on one side only. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, look at the box on page 71. It is implied by the writer. It can be inferred by you. It is most likely or probably. You infer, you guess, because the facts are there. You can guess that this is true. But the facts aren't directly stated. That's an inference. That's an implication. The Lydians of Western Anatolia. Okay, the Lydians aren't around anymore. They're gone. They disappeared. But they were an early race of people in Western Anatolia. Anatolia is now a region of modern-day Turkey. So Anatolia at the time was an area where the Lydians, that was their home. Now, of course, it's part of Turkey. It's a region, I guess maybe a province, I'm not sure, but a region, a place in Turkey. Okay, let's do some work here. Let's practice. These are really important. And I want you to know that, or to learn and to practice looking for these inferences, looking for what I call inference words. Certain words tell you it's an inference. Certain words imply things, and you need to get used to seeing them and recognizing them. Go ahead and try number 1, passage 1, page 72, tiger moths. Okay, what's a moth? Moth? Nabi? Nabang. Similar to nabi, similar to a butterfly, but it's nabang. It's a moth. Okay, go ahead. Number 1, one of the most beautiful. One of means there are others. Okay, right away when you see the word one of or one, it means this is one. It implies there are others. So this is one of the most beautiful of the known species. Known means we know, but it implies there might be more. There probably is more. We don't know everything. We human beings, we've learned so much about our planet, but there's so much more we don't know. That's why we have science, because we need to keep on learning. Learning never stops, and learning builds on it, right? You get to one level, and then you build to the next, and then you build to the next. So we know about 100,000 species, but guess what? We don't know them all. I'm sure there's more. Number 1 is B. There may be more than 100,000 species in this order. Order is like a type of a species. Number 2, tiger moth. Well, what does it say? Orange and black, yellow and black. Who looks orange and black and yellow and black? Oh, I know, a tiger. A. Its coloration resembles that of a tiger. A. Number 2B, ferocious means very deadly, strong fighter, very deadly and dangerous, like a tiger. Number 3, if a predator wanted to eat a tiger moth, D, it would back away. Whoa! Animals instinctively know, automatically, naturally know that color means danger, danger, stay away. Bright, bold, striking, beautiful colors means poison, danger, keep away. D. And number 4, successfully dull colors. Dull, not bright, not clear and obvious, not striking. Notice all the adjectives here. Highly conspicuous, very noticeable, easy to see. Bold patterns, boldly patterned, very bright. Yellow and black is very bright. Visually attractive, striking, and so on and so on. Lots of good synonyms here about something very colorful and very easy to see. Number 4, C, brown and gray. Not bright and beautiful and striking and bold. Brown and gray, kind of dull colors. A is bright and bold, B is bright and bold, D is bright and bold, C is not. C, number 4, C. Gland, maybe you don't know the word gland. Bunbisem, or bunbisem, glands, okay. To secrete bubbles. To secrete is when your body lets out liquid, like when you cry or when you sweat. That's secreting, letting liquid out of the body, quite often through the skin or anywhere in your body. Passage 2, the Cambrian explosion. Again, look for these inference words while you read. Go ahead, page 73, 4 questions. When you're done, come back. Okay, how did we do? Let's check here. Look at paragraph 1. The first word is really important. Many, right there, that's an inference word. That's implying that there are many, but not all. There are more. Many of the major phyla of animals arose during the Cambrian period in what's called the Cambrian explosion. Many means not all. It implies clearly not all of them. Phyla is like one species. We have animals and plants kind of like files. Phyla, like file, at your computer. Comes from that word, right? You'll have a big file for photos, and then inside you'll have smaller file, family photos, and inside photos of my brother, my sister, me, my parents. Okay, file. So the phyla is one file, one type of animal or species. Many means there were others. A, number 5 is A. Some major phyla developed in other periods, not the Cambrian explosion. Number 2, quite easy, I think. From 540 million years ago to 500 million years ago, C is A, 540 minus 500 equals A, 40 million years. Number 7, again, look at paragraph 2, the first word, one. One explanation is mo. This means this is one. It means there are others. It means this is not the only one. One reason he failed the exam is because he missed many classes. That's a reason, but that's not the only reason. But that's one reason, or one important reason. Number 7 is D. The theory of polar wander, the poles wandering, moving around, is not the only theory. 7D. Paragraph 2, line 2. According to this theory, the rapid diversification occurred because of an unusually rapid reorganization of the Earth's crust. Unusual. That's an inference word. Unusually rapid. Unusually fast. Wow, the class was unusually fast today. It means it usually goes slower. Okay, it's implying that on other times it's not as fast, it's slower. This is an inference word, unusually. Number 8 is C. The Earth's crust changed more slowly in other periods because this period was unusual. It was unusually fast. Okay, all 4 of those, 5, 6, 7, and 8, they all come down to recognizing inference words. 5, 7, and 8, really. One, many, and unusually. Number 6 was actually just doing the math more than anything else. All right, good work. Homework, just 2 passages. We did a lot of work in class today. So homework will be passage 3, page 74, and passage 4, page 75. The Golden Age of Comics and the Filibuster. Okay, 2 passages for homework, then stop. Skill 8, we will begin together in class next week. Good luck with your reading homework. Again, finish it and tell me that you finished it by Thursday at 5 o'clock. And of course, ask if you have any questions. All right, let's move on to our listening. Listening comprehension. First, review the homework from last week. First one, where are we here? Page 154. Page 154, okay, Skill 4, Stance. Native American Studies. Iroquois houses. The Iroquois were a confederation of Indian tribes. Okay, they were different tribes sort of all brought together like one nation under one umbrella. That's a confederacy. They were individual tribes. They had their own home, their own, rules, but then they came together as one big confederation when dealing with, the European settlers and so on. They were sort of the northeast, around New England, New York, and parts of Canada is where they were. Okay, I'll go over it real quickly here. The woman here, the professor, is very, very positive. If you listen again or you read the script on page 590, she's very, very positive. She says efficient simplicity. Okay, simple here isn't negative. It just means they're very efficient. It means that they don't waste time, they don't waste resources, they don't waste money, they don't waste anything. Okay, they do things in a very efficient manner. That's a very positive thing. And if you look at number 5, the answer is B, because it's very positive. Remarkably effective, remarkably, incredibly, amazingly effective, useful. Okay, amazingly useful, amazingly well done. A, it is too simple. TOO, too negative. Wrong. C, overly, too much. Overly is negative. Wrong. Embellished means decorated. Okay, they're not decorated. They're not overly embellished and fancy. No, they're very simple, but effective and efficient. D, unnatural, also negative. A negative, C negative, D negative. Wrong. She's positive. B is positive. And number 6, this is kind of a strange question. I wasn't a big fan of this question. Really, the only possible answer is D, but it's not really a good answer, but it is the best answer. A, no, he doesn't say that. B, no. And C, no, he doesn't say it's too complicated. No, he says, I'm not good at it. He's not saying this is too difficult. He's saying, I don't draw well. I'm not a good artist. This isn't one of my specialties. Yeah, that, we wouldn't really say that in English. That's very awkward. But really what he's saying is, I'm not good at it. I'm not a good artist. I'm not good at this. I'm not very good. So D is the only possible answer. D is the best answer. 6 is D. Moving on, passage, where are we here? Passage 4, meteorology. Hail. What's hail? Hail is ubak, right? Ubak. Basically when we get flying ice balls or falling ice balls from the sky. Very dangerous, hail. Usually they're very small, but they can be very, very big. I've seen hail that's very, very big. Big as golf balls. Sometimes even bigger, and you have to be very careful. It's rare here, but I did see hail a couple times over the years here in Seoul. It's not common in Seoul, but it has fallen, and it has fallen in Korea. You might see hail once in a while. Here, when you listen to this passage, really it's about the change in the man's feeling. At the beginning of the talk, the male student, the man, is very confused. He doesn't understand it. He goes, this isn't clear to me. This isn't clear to me means I don't understand it well, or it doesn't make sense. Not clear, don't understand, doesn't make sense, D. At the beginning, number 7, D. The woman explains it well. She says, look, the rain falls down, it goes back up, it freezes, it falls down, goes back up, freezes, gets colder and colder, bigger and bigger. Finally, it gets so heavy it falls to the ground as an ice ball, as hail. But the man understands. He goes, oh, so the drops rise and fall a number of times within the cloud. And each time a drop rises and falls, it adds another layer of ice. And the woman says, yes, you've got it. You've got it means you understand. That's it. You get it. You understand. You're right. Really? This isn't as difficult as I thought. I can understand it. So now he's happy. B. I think I get it. I can understand this. He goes from, it doesn't make sense, I don't get it, to, I can understand this. Number 8, B. Okay, good work. All right, one more exercise that was homework, the Fugio coin. No, this was not homework, I'm sorry. This is not homework. We're gonna do it now together. I sent you the listening files, file number 14 to file number 20. So I want you to do this review exercise now, the Fugio coin, and answer the 6 questions and come back and I'll go over the answers with you. Go ahead, good luck. Okay, Fugio is Latin for fly, like a fugitive, right? A fugitive is flying, is running away from the police. Remember centripetal force and centrifugal force. Centripetal means towards the center. Centrifugal means going away from the center, running away, flying away from the middle. Okay, Fugio, I fly. Interesting. Number 1, how does the professor seem to feel when she says, any idea? Come on, you must have some, come on. Remember we heard this before, right? How much, 900 degrees, 500 degrees centigrade, how much is this in Fahrenheit? Come on. It means the professor expects you to know, a little impatient. Come on, you know this. You should know this, come on. The answer is D, a little bit frustrated. When a professor is like, come on, somebody answer, come on. He or she expects the students to know and expects the students to answer. Come on, what's going on? Means the professor's not really too happy. D. Number 2, why does the professor say, it was because Benjamin Franklin was on it, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. Very often a professor will tell you the wrong information. She's checking. Are you listening? Are you paying attention? Have you read this? Are you ready for class? Have you prepared? A. Benjamin Franklin was on it, right? No, teacher. No, he wasn't on it. No. Right. She wants the teachers to disagree with her. Disagree. It's a tag question. Checking. Isn't it? Isn't it? That's a tag. T-A-G. A tag question is used for checking. Here, the teacher is checking to see if the students are listening and if the students understand. Number 3, Sam needs some help. Who can help Sam answer? Now, again, here, the answer is B. It's not a perfect answer, it's the best answer. Sam knows part of the answer, but Sam doesn't know all of the answer. So B is not a great answer, but it's the best answer. Number 3, B. A, no. C, no. D, no. Number 3, C implies that the students aren't helping enough. They're not doing enough. No. It's not the fault of the students. The students aren't the problem here. The problem is Sam. Sam knows part of the answer, but he doesn't know all of the answer. He needs some help. B. Number 3 is B. Number 4, oh, excuse me, did I say front? I meant back. All right, again and again, when you hear somebody correct themselves, it means it's on purpose. Expect the question, right? Oh, excuse me, did I say front? I meant back. Okay, now it sounds very natural, but it's not. This is a script. They planned the mistake. Therefore, when you hear that, expect a question. Number 4, the answer is D. Oh, excuse me, did I say I'm correcting myself? I'm changing a mistake. Number 4, D. Number 5, that's a very appropriate idea for the first coin issued by the US after the country won its independence. In other words, B, they represent the unity. We are one. Okay? We are one, all together as one. Unity, unified, United States of America. So a new country, unified, unity, that's a very appropriate idea. We are one. We, one, together, unity, unified. Interesting. So this was the first coin ever made in the United States. And number 6. Now remember, she's not really happy. You know, come on, come on. Sam needs some help. His answer isn't complete. His answer's not good enough. She's not really happy with the students today. She thinks they didn't prepare well for the lecture. Maybe she's right. To get students to prepare better, what do? You say, you know, class, I might give you a quiz. I might just give you a pop quiz to start next week's class. Quiz? Uh-oh. Now the students are paying attention. Now they're awake. Now they're listening. Quiz? Test? Now they better be prepared. When you think there might be a quiz, what do? You prepare well for the class. So the answer is A. Better preparation is important for our class. I want you to be better prepared for next week's class. So just be ready. I might give you a quiz. Now the students will be ready. There won't be any, I don't know, I'm not sure. Come on. Not next week. Better preparation is important. A. All right, homework. One thing for listening only. The review of all 4 skills, 1 through 4, page 158 and 159. Zoology, hibernation. Okay, we know what a zoo is, so we know this is about animals. Do the listening and do the questions 1 through 8. Answer them. Next week, I will review this. And that's it. No more homework for listening, because we will begin Skill 5 together in our lecture next week. We're hitting the home stretch, everyone. We're getting there. We've got just a few more weeks to go. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good questions, and keep up getting your homework done on time and your email to me on time. I'll look forward to hearing from you by Thursday at 5 p.m. It's great to see you all again. Good work on your midterm. Keep up the hard work in our class. And I look forward to seeing you finally in December, it looks like. Any questions at all, ask me. Otherwise, have a great week. Work hard, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.